One of the hardest things in all of business is selling your ideas internally. It's incredibly hard to do, but in this video, I'm gonna give you the exact framework for selling your ideas internally so that people get excited about them, you get the resources you need, and you actually get them implemented. Hi, I'm John Lincoln with Ignite Visibility. Let's dive into it. By the way, if you have issues getting projects implemented, put a yes below. If you don't, put a no below. I want to know how big of an issue this is, so go ahead and put those in the comments right now. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to think about what are all the objections that could come up around your idea. Make a list of every single thing that somebody would say potentially would make it a reason so that they wouldn't want to implement the idea. Make that list and then create a response to every single one of those objections. When you do that, it shows that you've thought the entire thing through and you're going to have a response if somebody brings something up in a meeting. Number two, this is probably the most important one, but I'm going to bring it back together at the end with some other really important information, but run the numbers. How much is the total cost to implement the idea? What are the costs going to be for people, for any services, for any equipment? What are the entire amount of costs for that project, and write every single one of them down, right? Then you need to do a forecast on what the return is going to look like on the project, because any executive is going to want to see how much something costs and how much they're going to make. And if you do not have any type of ROI analysis around your idea, then it's probably not an idea that you should be proposing, especially if it's a big idea. Item number three. How will the idea be implemented? Who needs to work on it? What is the exact plan for implementation of the idea? Laying that out from start to finish. What's the project plan look like? The specific actions that need to, be in place. And if you think that through, that's going to play a role in how much certain things cost, who's going to be on the project, and all of these things together. So you really need to think about what is the exact implementation look like for the idea. Okay, item number four, when you have the exact implementation laid out, the next thing that you're going to want to do is put that into a timeline. So any project needs to have a start or a finish, unless it's an ongoing project for a service that you're going to need on a continual basis for years and years and years. What's the start? What's the finish? What are you going to be doing specifically at each point in time during your timeline? If you put that into an executive presentation, people are going to love that. Next, what's the case for implementing this idea versus all the other ideas that people are proposing in the organization within your specific group? So why would they choose your idea over other ideas? So comparing yours and the revenue, the time, the people, the project plan, all of those things in one bubble versus all these other ideas that people are trying to implement as well that are competing for the same resources that you are, right? So make sure you take the time to lay that out. Okay, so after you've done all this, the next step is to put this into an executive document. And the executive document should be very well structured. You always want to start with an overall summary, and then you want to have sections within the presentation for each of the different points that I just mentioned. Very clear sections with dividers that you can present to executives. Next, and this is probably the most important thing, you're going to want to set up a meeting with the people who are the decision makers. So you physically reach out, you ask, can we set up a meeting, get some time on the calendar, sit down, walk them through the presentation so that they can really understand it from your perspective and that they actually take the time to wrap their head around the entire project. People are so busy nowadays. If you don't take the time to invest some time in walking through this with them, that shows that you don't care about the project enough. But if you do this, people are going to absolutely love it because it's going to show that you took the initiative. The last thing you want to do is give them a timeline for decision making. So you're going to say, I'd like to know by this date if you want to start the project, and put in place the timeline that I've laid out. And if they give you a response before then you know that you're going to be getting started on that day. You're going to be executing the timeline for the project plan that you've laid out, and you're going to be trying to achieve the revenue goals that you put in place. Finally, if somebody goes for your plan and they really want to do it and they give you the go ahead, let's go ahead and let's get this project going, you're excited, the last thing I would say is make sure you do it, right? So if you invested all this time, you were excited, you wanted to make this project happen, commit to the project, make sure it's successful, work hard, send frequent updates, and it's also a great idea if you just bake into your executive document how often you would be updating so that there's clear expectations there, because executives, they never like it if they sign off on a project and they don't hear about it for 3 months and nothing happens. That's pretty much worst case scenario. That will not help your credibility. I promise you, if you follow this process, this will help you sell things internally. This will help you get more done. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear about any projects you're working on or any challenges that you have with getting projects implemented. Thanks so much. Have a great day.